That's another sign of inferiority.
What's that?
You vote for those who are going to do the most for black people.
Right.
Right? If black people are so superior, why can't they do most for themselves?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a video from this Christian who's confronted by this particular person, and the way it unfolds and ends is quite unexpected. I'll be giving my insights along the way. Let's jump in and watch.
My father's older than you, and he tells me stories about, how he grew up and he worked on a plantation. And he did say, he got along with,
I don't care. I was there.
He was there before
and
you. He's older than you.
White people got along
He's older than you.
way better than they do today.
What?
Because the white people are sick of the black people. Everybody.
You said sick and dogs on them? What'd you say?
I said that white people and black people got along way better than they are today.
You said the water hoses?
I said that white people are sick of the blacks complaining.
You said the lynchings?
So what though?
The lynchings?
Did you know that there were, I think, something like 4,000 blacks who owned slaves?
4,000 blacks who owned slaves?
In Kentucky or one of those areas.
What source is that? No, what's your source?
One of my hosts talked about it the other day on the show. But you didn't know that.
No, what's the source?
All your little black supremacy book. You didn't look that up.
No, what source is that?
Let's do this. We'll
That's
get it
a lie.
Put it up there.
You ever heard of the book by James Lowe, The Lies My History Teacher Told Me? That would be in it. That's a lie.
Why don't black people just kind of move on with their lives and stop this mess that they're into? If they're superior, why don't they somehow or another let their little superior stuff kick in and stop blaming and living in the past, which had nothing to do with them, by the way. Living in the past and blaming the whites and others. At what point will they say, you know what, we had enough complaining and being victims and talking about this mess. Let's show everybody what we can do. Why don't they forget about the past and live in the present?
Well, the past affects the present.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Not if you don't live in it.
It's no way to get around it. It does.
Yes, there's a way to get around it.
The past is still in the present.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Only in your mind. Only.
Nope. In 2015, in Miami, Florida, they were shooting at, in a police department, they were shooting at black civilians' pictures, mugshots, at a police department.
When was this?
In 2015. In Miami, Florida. 2015.
What year is it now?
That's 8 years ago.
What year is it right now?
2023.
But what's the purpose of living in the past?
So yesterday is the past.
What's the purpose of living in yesterday?
You have to know your history in order for history not to repeat itself and to improve yourself.
That's not true.
That is true.
Knowing your history is what makes things worse. So if black people know their history, they've been talking about this mess for years, right? Knowing their history, why are they still repeating the same thing over and over again?
They don't know their history. If you know the history that's in this book, they know the history that they want to teach. When we talk about systemic racism, do you know that in 2015...
You believe that racism exists?
Yes.
And what is racism?
This is why people need to read the Bible for themselves, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be accountable for yourself, because you can blame someone else on the day of judgment, even if they were teaching the wrong doctrine. You can do that. 2 Timothy from verse 2:11 says, "Study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that need not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth."
I'll tell you. So racism is the unfair treatment of one group of people based on their race, or the belief that one group of people is inferior solely based off their race. So
you are racist for believing that black people are superior to others?
For saying that we have superior resilience.
Are you a racist for believing that black people are superior to all other races, you said?
No, I'm not racist.
But you just said that was racism.
No, I said solely based on race. Mine is not solely based on race.
So you believe...
Mine are based off black accomplishments and black oppression.
So racism is a belief that one race is superior to another, right?
Solely based on race.
But racism is according to you, a belief that one race is better than the other.
Solely based on race, correct.
And so if white people think they're better because they do better than black people, they see that they're smarter, they're more innovative.
They're not smarter. They're not more innovative.
They're more or less to blame others and carry on.
No, they're
Does that
not.
make them superior to the blacks?
Nothing you said was true.
Does that make them superior,
No, it
racist to
doesn't.
the black because they do more?
They don't do more.
They
What
do more.
What do you mean they do more?
They're keeping the country going while black people are chasing them, trying to get it and destroying it.
Destroying what?
Everything they touch.
I'm black. I don't destroy everything I touch.
You may be one black that don't be, but most blacks do.
No, most blacks do what?
Destroy.
Prove that.
Who killed other blacks the most?
Blacks. And who kills other whites
who
the most?
turned nice
no.
Who turned nice neighborhood? I'm giving you the proof.
But who kills other whites the
nice
most?
Neighborhoods
But that's
into
intellectually
hoods?
dishonest. That's
Who
intellectually
turned
dishonest.
nice neighborhoods into hoods?
Bad people.
Who? Now you're changing.
No.
Who turned nice neighborhoods into hoods?
Hood people.
Who are those hood people?
Hoodlums.
I'm giving you a hint.
It's a skin color, but what's the hint there? Who? Which people are those? You ever read the book by?
Are you a Democrat?
You ever read the book
you a
by Thomas
Democrat?
Sowell? It's Black Rednecks, White Liberals. You ever read that book?
No.
So he talks about the white people that you're talking about with the skin color there thingy.
Are you a Democrat?
No.
Were you ever a Democrat?
Yes.
And you're
Until
Republican?
Huh?
You're Republican now?
No.
And how do you vote?
I'm nonpartisan. I vote based off of knowledge, and I do my due diligence. I study to see which group, which person, which people will do the most for black people.
Did
And right
you vote
now,
for the
that's
Great
no one.
White Hope? How come? See, that's another sign of inferiority.
What's that?
You vote for those who are going to do the most for black people,
Right.
right? If black people are so superior, why can't they do most for themselves?
In a system?
If black people are superior to all,
can.
Why don't they do? Why you got to always vote for somebody that's going to do something for the blacks?
All right, so you should either do that or don't vote at all.
No, I'm asking you, if black people are superior,
Right.
why do you even consider voting for somebody that's going to do something for the blacks?
I would, because that's what makes sense if I'm black.
But why, if they're superior, why they got to have somebody do something for them?
Because we grew up in a system that has oppressed us, doing things against us. So
y'all
now it's time
ain't
to do
gonna
something for
Y'all
us.
ain't going to never overcome the system?
Who?
The blacks.
If not, if they keep acting the way they're acting, no.
And
We
the
got to
black-
read this book and act how I'm telling you to act.
So
this
did
is
you-
this is
did you
the
vote for
key to overcoming it.
Did you vote for the Great White Hope?
Who's the Great White Hope?
You know who the Great White
I
Hope
know
is.
who you call the Great White
Who?
Hope. You call what's his name? Trump, the Great White Hope.
I rest my case.
That's who you
I
call
know
the
you know the
Great
Great White Hope.
I've watched your show.
Did you vote for him?
No,
Are you going to vote for him this time?
no.
And why not?
Because what is he going to do for black people?
Do you vote?
Sometimes,
Do you vote?
yes.
And did you vote in the last election, presidential election?
Yes.
And who did you vote for?
I think I did a fill-in, a write-in.
Oh, you didn't vote for Biden or
No.
the Great White Hope?
Who?
The Great White
Oh,
Hope.
the one you call. Where did you come up with that? Why do you call him the Great White Hope?
Well, when he was in office, he was making America great again by bringing jobs back, drilling oil,
He was
putting an
making it great
amazing
again?
wall around the borders, taking away all those restrictions, lowering the taxes, and we were respected around the
You
world
said he was making it great again.
as a result of him. And he white.
When was it great before?
No, I just told you why I call him Great White Hope.
Right, because you said he's white. When was it great before?
And it was always great before.
America was always great? Always
until Obama got his hands on it, and then Joe Biden.
America was always great?
Yes,
So even during slavery, America was great.
absolutely.
You are serious?
As a heart attack.
The gospel offers hope and truth, two essential elements that every person longs for. In a world filled with uncertainty, suffering, and confusion, the message of Jesus offers hope that transcends earthly circumstances. It assures believers that God is sovereign and there is purpose beyond the struggle we face, and that eternal life with God awaits those who believe in Jesus Christ. The gospel is a message of truth, providing clarity about the nature of God, the meaning of life, and the path to salvation. That's beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, because so in a time when many seek answers in fleeting things, the gospel gives lasting answers that satisfy the deepest longings of the human heart. Preaching the gospel fulfills God's command. Jesus commissioned his followers to go into all the world and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them and teaching them to obey his commands. That's from Matthew 28, from verse 19. It's called the Great Commission and is a direct call to share the gospel. Yeah. And by so doing, we participate in God's redemptive work in the world. Preaching the gospel is not just a good idea, it's a divine mandate given to every believer. And by carrying it out, we align ourselves with God's purposes and bring glory to his name. Preaching the gospel brings deeper joy to those who hear and respond. And this joy is not just a fleeting happiness based on circumstances. No, but it's a deeper inner contentment that comes from knowing and experiencing God's love. It's a joy that transcends the ups, the downs, rooted in the unshakable truth of who God is and the salvation that he offers, ladies and gentlemen. To conclude, sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ is profoundly positive endeavor that changes lives, ladies and gentlemen. It promotes love, justice, hope, truth, and aligns with God's will. It provides eternal meaning and deep joy to those who receive it. Ultimately, it stands as the greatest gift to humanity, creating lasting impact in the lives of individuals and entire communities, and reflecting God's heart in everything it touches. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click on the next one, and don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.